Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa podcast. If you are new around here, subscribe, drop this video a like and get involved. Get involved with our interactive lineup predictor. But before we get into it, you know what I'm going to say. Head over to www.footballcontentawards and drop Up the Villa podcast a vote. We've got until next Sunday. So on their main page, you've got to just find the bit where you get to vote. That's what it should look like there. Head over to the voting page. Go down to best new content creator. Should be the second one there. Type in UTV podcast. And then just scroll all the way to the bottom. I agree and vote now. And that is job done. That is how you can vote for us. And hopefully we can get to the finals. In the description, I'll put the website. It's not a link, but all you got to do is go on footballcontentawards.com and you will find how you can vote for us. So I'd be over the moon if we can get to the final, and we can only get there if you guys that watch and enjoy our videos vote for us. So please do. Some big news today on the Aston Villa front, and we've had the sort of second round of the pictures of what the new North Stand is going to look like. And for me, it is absolutely magnificent. It looks amazing. The pictures of what the Villa fan area is going to look like is just class. What the shop's going to look like is brilliant. I love the vibe of it. I love what it's going to look like. That sort of red brick vibe. I just absolutely love it. And I just love everything about it. Justin, what are you saying?
It looks stunning, doesn't it? Honestly, I think one thing that I think we know is they know how to build stadiums, don't they? The owners. And you look at like the American sort of influence as well. You look at any of the NFL stadiums, and they're always absolutely phenomenal. And I'm speechless looking at it. I mean, it just looks epic. I spoke to you earlier today, didn't I? And looking at the above shot, I always think that the whole 10 looks like an imposing stand. And obviously the Trinity where I sit is quite imposing. But the new North Stand is going to look at that, it puts the Holt end in the shade. And the Holt has always been our iconic stand, hasn't it? I mean, I know when I stand at the club shop, which is more or less that view there, looking across to the North Stand, how dated obviously the North Stand looks. But you look at the Trinity Road corner of the Trinity Road stand there, and that dwarfs the North Stand, doesn't it? So you can get a real idea of the size of this structure, that when it's going to be finished. And I'm on top of the stand looking amazing. I am so buzzing for this hub as well. It's just such a great additional bonus, wasn't it? I know we was on about updating this club shop bits and bobs and everything, but to have this area where fans can go before the game and meet up, and even after the game and meet up, is critical to not only the club's ongoing success, but the fans' enjoyment of a match day experience, isn't it? You look at what Wembley do since they had since Wembley was rebuilt and the box park and things like that. And you look at what Spurs have done with their new stadium, with the areas for the fans to sort of mill around and enjoy. It's got to become more of a full, not a full day, because you're not going to be there from 9 till 9. But what you want to do is get there 2 or 3 hours before and have somewhere to go, somewhere to meet your mates, and a decent. I mean, you look at 55,000, so there's going to be a lot of people milling around once we get to that stage. So we need areas for people to enjoy, and as we know, English weather isn't the greatest, so to have an indoor thing as well, it's what we've craved for a very, very long time as a club. And I know things aren't massively going brilliantly on the pitch at the moment. It's not as disastrous as everyone's making out, but we can only, and I personally, for me, can only thank the owners for taking us where we were 3-4 years ago to where we're going to be in the next 3 or 4 years. It's a really exciting journey. It's a really exciting time to be a Villa fan. And I've always thought it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. It's about what you do, how you get there, how you enjoy that. There'll be ups and downs, we know that, but just got that, having that to look forward to in 2 or 3 seasons' time, for me, I don't know. I'm buzzing for it.
Yeah. I
It's a
know what
game
you're saying
changer. It's a game changer.
because the thing is, like, as a fan, like, we all love this football club, don't we? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, especially us on here, we live and breathe Aston Villa here, doing this podcast. You know, I talk about them all the time. You know, so the thought of this and the thought of like going to the games and seeing it and being on the journey of that north stand coming down and the building work, and
Yeah.
it's something to really, really look forward to. And you know what? It's going to be a part of Villa's history. You know, when that stand comes down and that new one gets built, and for that game that you're at, and you're going to be sitting there for that first time when it's full, and I'm just really excited about it, and I just think it's something for everybody to get excited about, even people in the local area that are going to be able to have things on their doorstep that are going to be different to what they've got now. So I think with that Brookvale Academy as well, you know,
Yeah.
all the kids that are going to be growing up and playing at that academy, and just, yeah, I just feel like it's a step in history for the football club, which is really, really good. And I think it's just great that it's happening now and we can all be involved in it. And, you know, I just think it's really positive. And I think, you know, if the playing side of things can just get up to scratch a little bit, I think, you know, it's a really exciting thing. And I just think if you can't embrace this, you can't get excited about this, then I'm sorry, but, you know, you're supporting the wrong team. I really do.
Oh, I totally agree. I totally agree. I mean, most football clubs growing up, I've been to many, many grounds in this country, and a lot of them are in deprived areas, you know, in inner city deprived areas. So not only have we got to look after our football club, but we've got to look after the area. You know, that area needs care and love. You know, we all descend on that area, 15, 20 times a year, and we all go there. But they're like you say, that's a massively important point. There's tens of thousands of people that live in that area, and it's going to bring, hopefully, a much better way of living, you know,
Mm.
there, and it's going to have a lot of these facilities on the doorstep for the local schools to use, for the local institutions to use. You know, the religious places can all go there and use it. There's going to be facilities there for everybody, and like Christian Perso said, it's you know, it can't just be for 22 games a year. It's got to be a multi-use facility to impact the area and to impact our financials over the next few years as well, which is important.
Yeah, and you make some good points. And we've started to slightly have like bands there, haven't we? You know, like
Yeah.
these.
Well,
Uh,
Springsteen's going,
yeah.
isn't he?
So we need more of that. Do you know what I mean? We need to be the place where these big, like, we have these big events, and I think it's got to
Yeah.
be the home and that. It's got to be the hub of that as well, hasn't it? So, you
Huge,
know,
yeah.
I don't know, like, imagine like Arctic Monkeys are playing. Why can't they play at Villa Park?
Mhm.
You know, that's what we've got to have. The Euros, Villa Park,
Yeah.
destination. You know, we've got to have all these type of things where we're on a level. And if Villa Park gets up to scratch and starts looking absolutely amazing, you know, I mean, I love Villa Park now, but you know, we need to be on that global scale where, you know, I go to say, I don't know, I go to Barcelona, you go on the stadium tour. I went to Monaco, I went to see the stadium. You imagine people want to come to Villa Park and have a look at what the stadium looks like as well. So there's all these different factors that it's not just for a fan to go. It's all the other things that are vitally important as well, and I think that's an important thing to make.
I think it'd be nice as well if that fan park, the Villa Box Park, whatever it's called. When I was a kid, I used to work in the club shop many, many years ago, and I remember the year when we finished runners up to Man United. They showed the Man United away game in the old Holt Suite, and it was an amazing atmosphere in there. You know, it was like because people couldn't go to the game. Such a huge game the way when Staunton hit the stanchion, you know, that absolute perler, and it was a great atmosphere to watch a game together with a few thousand Villa fans. So that may be even something they could do there is put some away games on in that enclosed area, sell tickets for it, not massively expensive, but you know, £5 or something each, where you can go and have a beer, sit down, huge screens, and watch the away games there as well. Could be a real, I don't know, it's a game changer for me. It's a game changer for everything. It
Yeah,
really is.
it's really cool. And another thing, if some of you have filled out the survey for the badge, that's doing the rounds as well. I know I have. And it seems like the club are listening to what the fans want. Um, let's have a little discussion about that then, Justin. To me, it looks like round badge, going round badge. That's the vibe I've got. And that's what I think I want. That the road I want to go down. I want it to be nice, clean, crisp. Tweak the colours. I know you got that round badge on your top now, Justin. I think the claret is a bit too dull for me. But I'd like the wording of Aston Villa. That was in one of the questions as well. And there was a question about avfc as well. So hopefully we can get rid of that. The star, I'd love to have the star still. I think that's one of the areas that I do like about our current badge, that we've got that, and I think we should all be proud of that. Justin, what are your thoughts on the badge then?
My thoughts on the badge are good luck at whoever has the final say on it, because it's going to be almost impossible to please everybody, isn't it? You know, I put a couple of things on my Twitter the other day when it first dropped, and there is, I mean, even on a small, probably I've had probably a few. I don't know. I think I had about 200 people comment, and everybody's opinion was different. Literally everybody's opinion was different. I ended up summing up. I said, we need a badge with the old line on, with a new line on. We want the round badge, but we don't want the round badge. We want a shield. We don't want a shield. We want a star in the badge, but we want a star outside the badge. We want the full name, but we just want avfc. We want it modern, but we want it traditional. So that just gives you an insight into what they are facing. They are not going to please everybody. There's going to be traditionalists that want to go back to this badge. They've got people that want a modern take on it, even the 70s and the 80s badge, which was, I quite like that, just with the line and the AV underneath. I think that's probably a bit too minimalist, although I think some European clubs have gone very minimalist with their modern badges now. It's very difficult. It's going to be very, very difficult. You look at some of the comments about the stands today, and for me, that's one of the greatest things I've ever seen. And there were still negative comments. You're going to get that, unfortunately, and it's whatever they end up with, it's not going to please everybody. So, I think they're doing it for the right reasons. I think it's the right time. I think with the 150th anniversary coming up as well, it's a nice time to look at the badge, with the way the owners are taking the club forward, with the stand rebuild as well. Hopefully that'll all really tie in nicely with a new badge for a new era of Villa. Hopefully a really successful era we're looking at. I would like probably. I've changed my mind about 3 times. I love this badge. I've always loved this badge, but I heard something interesting today. Is you always associate like the best things of clubs you support with something with when you was around 10 years of age.
Yeah,
Apparently, that's a
that's
really
right.
important. Yeah,
When I was around 10, that was the
exactly.
badge.
Yeah. I heard this today, and it was very interesting. There was on about baseball actually. The chap said, whatever your team was when you was 10, that's normally the biggest memory you have. I don't know why it is. It's like your favourite player was always from that era. Your favourite badge. So that was probably why I'm affiliated with this badge. And a lot of the younger kids won't really have any affiliation at all with that badge. They'll see it. They'll look at it like I look at the 1960s and the 1950s badges. Um, so can they get it right? Yes. Is it going to be very difficult? Yes, it's going to be really difficult, because whatever they end up with, I mean, we can't agree on a shirt every season. That changes every year. So to agree on something that's going to be our badge for the foreseeable future, possibly even decades, it's going to be very difficult. But I commend them to do it. I think it is time to change. I think the crest and the shield is probably at its day now, because it's more associated with bad times, I suppose. So a nice, fresh, new look badge. I'm all for it. And to be honest, whatever it looks like, I'll back it 100%, because we love the club, don't we?
Yeah, and what I would say about where the road they're gonna go down to change the badge. I think we can all agree that it's not gonna be something that we've never seen before, which would possibly, when Leeds did that badge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It won't ever be anything that we've never seen. So
I
if you
don't
look
know, I don't
brilliant.
know. I'm only saying that because I think, I don't know whether, if they went down the shield route, it's very difficult to put anything out that doesn't already look like what we've had already. And if they go down the round badge route, how are they going to,
Yeah, but
do?
I think the round badge you could easily make that look better.
You see, my mate Dave, who's been on the podcast, he's very good at things like this, and he's knocked up this right. Now that's just a quick thing he did this morning. He put it on our group chat, and I quite like that. He ticked on the Ajax one. When you could tick the European clubs, which is
Yeah,
your favourite, and he liked the Ajax one. So that's basically like his take on the Villa Ajax sort of
yeah.
thing. So I mean, there's people far more qualified than me in design and things like that, and I'm sure they're going to go through the process massively, and they'll come out. I think all I hope for, and I don't know whether this is a good idea or a bad idea, I hope that they maybe get down to 3 or 4 finalists and maybe let the fans vote. I don't know whether that's a good idea or not, but maybe they could narrow it down to 4 and then see what the reaction is to the 4. And if one gets absolutely destroyed, at least they can write one off. Yeah, it's very difficult.
So I found one here, and I'm going to credit Ben Thorburn. He designed it, right? Now, this one was doing the rounds when the badge came about first time round,
Yeah.
and everybody that I saw on Twitter loved this badge. The only thing it didn't have was a star. So I'll show you what it was now.
Go on.
And this is what it was.
Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a modern take on this badge, isn't it?
Yeah. You see how it looks cleaner, crisper,
Yeah.
more claret. Yeah. I really like that.
I think that would be a safe, something like that would be a safe bet, wouldn't it? Because I think you have to go with the majority on things. You can't please everybody. So I would say if you put it to the vote now, you could either have the shield or the circle or the round badge. You would like to think 70 or 80% would vote for the round badge. So you're in safe territory there, aren't you, by sticking to the round?
Yeah.
But yeah, and like I say, a modern version of this badge, I think, would probably pretty much be universally accepted by most fans. So that. But then a part of me wants to go a bit like shirts. I think we've gone very safe with our shirts over the last few years, especially this year. I like this shirt. It's a good quality shirt. It's a nice looking shirt. But I almost want us to go back to a bit of the beat. Let's go a bit mad on it. But I know the badge is a bit, like I say, you can change a shirt every year. So if you get it wrong one year, you've only got to stick with it for 1 year. If you get this wrong, you're stuck with it for a long time because it costs a lot of money to rebrand a football club, doesn't it? Put it on everything, especially with that. Look at the stand. First thing everyone's put is, "Well, we're changing the badge," but obviously, they'll sort that before it goes on. So, yeah, big topics, big changes ahead. It's change is good,
Yeah.
isn't it? I
Let
think
us
it's
know,
nice.
Villa fans, your thoughts. We'd love to hear your thoughts on
And if
everything.
anybody is a designer, try and do some designs and stick them on. I love seeing them on Twitter. There's a lot of people out there, very talented people with computers. So let's see some designs because
Well,
you never know how it might impact the club if they see some good ones.
our email address is on the about section of this channel. So if you want to email me, and then I'll put them on, and then
We could have a look at a few, couldn't we?
yeah,
Yeah,
you can have a look, and then
rate my badge.
definitely. Right, so let's have a look at why you're all here then. You're all here for the predicted lineup.
I forgot about that.
So head over to utvpodcast.co.uk. You're going under Social Hub and you are clicking Lineup Selector. Right, here we go. Scroll down a little bit and
We
you'll
wasn't
find...
far away, was we, with the Bolton one? We went strong, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We did indeed.
We did call
So
a strong lineup.
you can share them by tweeting them out. Press that twice, the little tweet icon. That'll go onto social media. We've already done the tweet for you, so you don't have to do anything. Just do your team, and it'll go straight onto your Twitter feed. Pick your lineup. Some of you were mentioning, how do I find our current formation? It's under 4-4-2 diamond. That will give you the 2 up top. Or if you want to go with the 2 10s, then you're best off probably sticking with this sort of one with the 3 in midfield. So, Justin, I'm going 2 up top. What you saying?
Yes, I think he'll stick with 2 up top. Yeah, I thought, I knew we were doing this tonight, obviously. So I was thinking, what do we do to West Ham coming in poor form? So I think he's he's given them a bit of a run, isn't he? I think that's what he's trying to do. He's sticking them up top, and he's trying to get a bit of a combo going. So I think, possibly stick with him again.
I think, especially Danny Ings, he's scoring goals. He's banging form. I've seen a stat that our win ratio and our performance ratio with the two up top is the best formation to go with. Another stat that I saw this week is that I think we are 5th in the league for the most possession so far this season out of the 3 games. So we're having around 57% possession every single game, which
Interesting.
is actually quite good. I mean,
It is, very good.
I know it's all about what you do with possession, but I think that is a positive sign for me that we're so high up. We were definitely around 5th or 6th in the league, and we'd had 57% possession. I think Man City had got, I think they had about 80%.
90.
No, they've got about 80, 79, 80%.
Right.
So he does want us to be this possession-based football side, and we are getting there, but we just need to iron out a few things, which we'll probably go into in a minute then. So Tyrone Mings, he's going to start, isn't he? That's an obvious.
Yeah.
I think so far, I think Mings is doing okay. I think he's a lot better. I don't really think he's done much wrong since he's come back into the side either.
No, I don't. No.
I would possibly say it's Ezri Konsa that's looking the weak link. But then again, I thought Chambers didn't look great against Bolton. I'd say that was probably Chambers' worst game he's had in a Villa shirt against Bolton. Justin, who's partnering Tyrone Mings?
I'm going to keep saying it until he gets a run in the team. I went to Bolton on Tuesday, and I think everybody had a poor first half, that nobody could get hold of the ball. Bolton came out of the traps with nothing to lose and had a go at him. I think, but once we settled, I think we did well. I even said to Dave when I went with on Tuesday, what Callum Chambers brings to us is for me, he's our best passer of the ball out of the back four. He's so calm on the ball. There was one instance in the second half, I think, when the ball dropped to him and he half volleyed a pass. I think he just went out of play on the right touchline, but his vision to spot the run and to be able to almost execute that pass for a centre half just shows his ability for me on the ball. And I still think, like you, that Ezri Konsa is struggling for form. So I think you've got to err on the side of a player that's probably in a little bit better form than the other one. So for me, I would go Callum Chambers. I would.
Cool.
What would you say?
Yeah.
I was just going to look at West Ham and see what they play. What do they play? 2 up?
No, they play 1 with wingers and 2 holders. So 4-2-3-1. Yeah. Interesting. They've took Souček. He's playing in Europe. Bowen's playing as well. So they've rested Rice and Antonio. That's for the European game that they're playing on Thursday.
Yeah. Antonio's the threat, isn't he? He's such a handful. I know he hasn't had a great start to the season, but I think Mings is your physical presence, and I think...
And they've got that new striker, haven't they? Is it
Salimatera? Is it?
Something like that.
Sakamaka, Scaramanga from the Bond films.
Yeah, something like that. But so I think they're just waiting to get him into the side as well. But Boubacar Kamara, he'll be holding. And I am going to have a shout here. I want Douglas Luiz in this football team against West Ham. It is important that this midfield battle that we're going to be under, that we are competitive, because if we are not, like I said in the preview, we're going to get absolutely run ragged, because the distribution, the retrieving of the ball, the churning out possession, the just retention of the ball, if we don't live with that, there's no point in us turning up, because Souček and Rice will be sitting on that halfway line or just below, knocking it sideways to Bowen, Benrahma, Fornells, Cornet, right? And we'll be being run ragged for majority of the game. So this free midfield have got to be bang up for the game. We've got to be at them from the very first whistle, right? I want to see them narrow, playing close together, right? And just retrieving the ball and being brave on the ball, because it's going to be a battle. Justin, what are you saying about midfield then?
Yeah, I agree with you. You know, I think that's right. I think Louise, McGinn, Kamara for me. I know McGinn is desperately out of form at the moment. He's trying so hard to play himself into form. He's almost trying too hard, and it's just not coming off for him on the pitch. His passes are going astray. He looks off it, doesn't he? And it's such a shame because he's been given the captain's armband. It's such a privilege for him to have that honour, and he just can't get the form together to sort of to do it justice at the moment. West Ham is a very tricky game for me because they're not bottom of the league. That's not where their abilities level is at all. They've had not a terrible start, but they've just things have gone against them in all the games. I watched them play Forest, and how they never won that game, I will never know. They did everything but score 3 or 4 goals that day, and it was just Forest day on the day. So we have got to be very careful. Looking at their formation, the way they do set up, it almost coming to Villa with no points and no goals, it almost looks like it could turn into a 4-5-1. They just want to maybe try and dominate the midfield with Souček, Rice, Bowen, Fornals and Benrahma playing like a wide 5, if you like, with Fornals just dropping in between Souček and Rice. So we've got to be careful that we're not outnumbered in the middle of the park with 2 up top and a 10. That we don't leave Louise, Kamara and McGinn just to try and battle it out with the 5 of them. We've got to make sure we get hold of the ball and, like you say, keep hold of it and make them do the running. Coming to a place like Villa in the form they're in, if we can get the first goal, I know we always say it's important, and it is obviously very important to get the first goal. We've got to get that first goal because that'll keep them pressed back, and it'll give them that, oh no, here we go again. We haven't won a game yet, we haven't scored a goal yet. Whereas if they were to get the first goal, it's going to give them that confidence to think, right, okay, we've had our bad start now. This is it now. We're turning it around now. And it'll just flood them full of confidence. So I think currently Ramsey potentially he could come back in because he went with Louise, so he might have been resting Ramsey, but he's not in the greatest of form. Although we have seen flashes of his game, especially in the last game, the first half against Everton. He really was. Sorry, the last home game against Everton, he did really well. He was driving forward. But I think Louise has probably earned the right. Like I said last week, Louise and Chambers for me have earned the right to start now. I think they deserve a chance to try and establish themselves in the 11.
Yeah, I agree. So, who's playing behind the strikers? Buendia was sort of rested. Coutinho played against Bolton. I thought Coutinho's second half was good. He made that pass to Danny Ings, which was a really good pass, wasn't it? And that's more like it. Physical battle. It's going to be a physical game on Sunday. It really is going to be a physical game. And do we go a bit left field here? Right. What about...
You're going to say throw Bailey, aren't you?
No. What about Ramsey? Would that not give us a bit more stability in this game?
It would. Yeah, it would. Can he play that role? I'm not sure. I mean, could you play Ramsey and put McGinn in the 10, which he plays for Scotland so well? I don't know. I don't think he will. I think he'll go. I think it's set up for Buendia or Coutinho. Yeah. I'm almost tempted to say just give them 45 minutes each and say, before the game, you're playing first half, you're playing second half. There's not a lot between them, is there currently? I don't think. At their very, very best, you would always say Coutinho is a level above at the moment. I'm talking in their careers for what they've done. At their very, but he's not showing that kind of form at the moment. So this is why people are craving for Buendia, and he got the start last week and he did okay. Do
you know what? No, I know he's going with Bailey.
I did think about Bailey.
He's going with. I think he'd go Bailey.
I just don't know whether he can play that again, and I don't know like Ramsey whether he can play that role. I'm sort of talking myself into now whether he's going to go back to one up front. Looking at the way they set up, because you've got Rice and Souček, right? So if you've had Rice and Souček and you play 110, then they haven't got either of the two that play. They could easily snuff whoever that out, and then the three in front of them have got to do all the damage against our three. So you'd have Bowen, Fornells, and Benrahma against McGinn, Kamara, and Louise. Whereas if I think you maybe put 2 10s in, what about Coutinho and Buendia?
Yeah. Yeah, I like that, but
And it could be the first time to see them two together.
I like it, but we yet to see it work, aren't we? But
Well,
I do
yeah, but a
really
lot of
like
things
it.
haven't worked, have they? A lot of things haven't worked for us.
I like the look of this a little bit deeper, They keep things up top, but these just a little bit more, bit more central here. Do you know what I mean?
mm,
Not like this. I think we're better when we're a bit more like that.
that's
Just because
why
I think
yeah,
what this midfield ends up looking like that, don't it?
yeah.
And then it looks like that. So I think at least if these come in a little bit more and these are a bit more central, that's what I'd say.
This is what I'm saying about going two up top. I said that he would go two up top against more like back fives, which he did do against Everton, and it did work because you're keeping. And I think he said it after the game. Actually, I watched one of his interviews saying we went with two up top to try and keep the back five quiet, but West Ham play four. And their strength, they're looking at that team, their strength 100% in for me is three players. It's Souček, Rice, and Antonio.
Yeah.
So we've got to keep their basically Rice and Souček who dictate the play. We've got to keep them quiet.
Yeah.
So for me, possibly playing the 2 10s gives them a lot to think about, doesn't it? A hell of a lot to think about. Whereas if you play 2 9s, then it's up to the back four to look after them, really. And then Souček and Rice would have to just look after 1 10 and help out a little bit at the back. Whereas 2 10s would withdrawn slightly. Zuma and whoever it is playing at the back, whoever it is, would have, Danny Ings or Ollie Watkins to keep an eye on. And like we've said it before, and it sounds like a broken record, I say it every week, 5 subs, 5 subs, 5 subs. It's not the end of the world if somebody's off form, change it. We haven't really seen us use those 5 subs to real full effect yet, like put in, say, 2 on at half time or even a sub on before half time or a couple just after half time or even 3. You can change the front 3 if you had to, if you really had to. So it's, yeah. This is the problem with us at the moment, isn't it? We're just not in good form. Things aren't rolling, so it's not easy to say we won last week again, keep the same team. We won last week, keep the same team, and we're coming up against different problems each week with different formations and different teams. So you can see how difficult it is for the manager to have these problems every week, because we've played Tuesday. Now his attention straight away turned to West Ham, so they're looking at how they play, how they set up, what's their form like, what's their likely 11, what's the best way to combat it. And with the players we've got, there's so many ways you could attack it. It's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
What are you saying then?
Yeah, we'll go with that. I want to see Danny Ings up top. I do. He's scoring goals, and I'm fed up of seeing people drop out of the team when they're doing all right. So I think
I
let's
tell you
go.
what, as well, that what was good about Danny Ings on Tuesday, that assist for Luca Dean, that little triangle on the left hand side when he just rolled the ball around the back of the fullback, it was a lovely little ball.
Cool. Right, we'll end it there then. We've waffled on at the end a bit, but yeah. So yeah, get involved in the comment section down below. Vote for us. I hope you like what the stadium looks like. Let us know on the badge what your lineup's going to be. We're going to see. Hopefully, we'll see them on Twitter over the weekend and stuff. Enjoy the game. We got fan cams coming, so if you want to join us, head down. Ryan's on his holiday, so if any of you want to join us, you can come on, get on board. Justin, I've already done my score prediction on the match preview. Be sure to all go and check that one out. What are you going with? I went with 1-1.
2-0 Villa.
4 losses in a row for West Ham.
Yeah.
Oh,
right. We have to believe that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. And I think I like the predicted lineup, match previews, the build up, the anticipation, looking forward to the games, and then hopefully you don't see us at the end absolutely fuming. And I'll tell you what I don't want to see. I do not want to come on here Sunday evening looking at that team with that midfield about this far apart. So that is the one thing that I do not want to come on and have to do. So please, Villa, let's sort ourselves out. Let's remain positive. Positive vibes, please, because we're not as bad as what everyone's making out. And yeah, let's get the 3 points and move on to Arsenal. Up the Villa.
Up the Villa.